Hey everyone, welcome to our deep dive all about travel English.
It's going to be super useful.
Yes, especially if you are traveling to a place where English is not the first language.
Exactly.
So we're going to be focusing on like the airport and your hotel.
Those are the two big ones, right?
Yes, the most important.
Yeah.
So let's imagine you've just arrived at the airport.
Okay.
What's the first thing you're probably going to need to do?
Well, you're going to have to find your airline's check-in desk.
Yeah, and airports can be kind of confusing.
Oh, they can be very overwhelming.
So what are some phrases that you would use to ask for directions?
Well, you could start by just saying, "Excuse me, where is the check-in desk for airline name?"
Okay.
That's simple, easy.
And a smile.
Yes, a smile helps.
Yeah, a smile is universal.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we found the check-in desk.
Great.
What are some phrases we're going to need here?
Well, first you're going to want to greet the agent.
Okay.
So just a simple hello. Then you can say something like, "I have a reservation for flight number to destination."
And you need to have your passport and ticket ready.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. They're going to ask to see those documents for sure.
Yeah.
And they might ask you some questions too.
Okay.
Like, "Do you have any bags to check?"
And how would you answer that?
If you have a suitcase to check, you can say, "Yes, I have one bag to check." And if you're only traveling with a carry-on bag, you can say, "No, I only have carry-on luggage."
Okay, great. And then what?
Then the agent will give you your boarding pass,
Okay.
and it will have your gate number and boarding time.
Yeah.
It's really important to make sure that you understand that information correctly.
Yes, repeat it back to them.
Exactly.
I've definitely gone to the wrong gate before because I didn't.
It happens. All right, so you've got your boarding pass. Now you're headed to security.
Okay.
And here you need to pay close attention to the instructions from the security personnel.
Yes.
Like, please place your electronics in the tray or remove your shoes and belt.
Yeah, you got to follow those instructions.
Yes, it's for everyone's safety.
What if you don't understand something?
Don't be afraid to ask. Just say, "Excuse me, could you please repeat that?"
Oh, okay.
Or, "I don't understand. Could you please explain?"
Perfect. So we're through security.
Yeah.
What's next?
Well, if you're on an international flight, you'll probably have to go through passport control.
Oh, right.
So have your passport ready.
And other documents.
Yes, anything they might need.
Yeah.
They'll ask you some questions.
Like what?
They might ask about the purpose of your visit.
Okay.
Like, what is the reason for your trip?
Yeah.
Or how long will you be staying in country?
So you just have to answer clearly and honestly.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
then you can go to your gate.
Okay, that's the exciting part.
Yeah, you're almost ready to go.
Yeah, you're almost there.
You just have to wait for the announcement for your flight to board.
Like flight number to destination is now boarding. All right, so let's talk about what happens when you arrive at your hotel.
Okay, let's do it.
So you're at the front desk, you need to check in.
Yeah.
What do you say?
"Hello, I have a reservation under the name, your name."
Simple as that.
Yeah, pretty much.
And make sure you have that confirmation.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
It's always good to have it handy.
What are some other helpful phrases we should know at this point?
You might want to just confirm the details of your reservation.
Okay.
So you could say, "I booked a room type for number nights."
Okay.
And you can also ask about the Wi-Fi password
Yeah.
and what time breakfast is served.
Yeah. It's better to do it now than to like try and figure it out later.
Sure, yeah.
What if you need to report a problem with your room?
Okay, so let's say the air conditioner isn't working.
Yeah.
You can say, "Excuse me, the air conditioner in my room is not working. Could you please send someone to fix it?"
Okay. So you're just polite but clear about what you need.
Exactly. Using please and thank you always helps.
Yeah, always. Okay, so we've covered checking in, but what about when it's time to check out of the hotel?
Okay, so when you're ready to leave, you go to the front desk and say, "Good morning, I'd like to check out, please."
Okay.
Easy.
Easy peasy.
And then don't forget to hand back your key.
Right. Is there anything else to keep in mind during checkout?
It's always a good idea to check your bill.
To make sure there aren't any like surprise charges.
Right.
Yeah.
And if everything looks good, just thank the staff.
Yeah, always.
It's always good to be polite.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground today.
Yeah, we have.
We've talked about the airport, we've talked about hotels, and I think these phrases are really going to be helpful for our listeners when they travel.
Absolutely. I think they'll feel much more confident now.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think for the next part of our deep dive, we're going to go into some more specific scenarios.
That sounds good.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
so stay tuned.
So let's say you've made it through security. You're at the airport and you need to find your gate.
right?
but you have no idea where it is.
Oh, yeah, that's always fun,
It can be a little overwhelming.
especially in a big airport.
Exactly.
So what do you do?
Well, you don't have to panic.
Okay.
Just find an airport worker.
Okay.
They're usually pretty easy to spot.
Yeah, they have the uniforms and stuff.
Exactly.
Okay.
And you can just ask them politely.
Okay, so what would you say?
You could say something like, "Excuse me, can you tell me where gate number is?"
Okay, easy enough.
Yeah, and they'll point you in the right direction.
And hopefully it's not too far.
Hopefully not, but even if it is, at least you'll know where you're going.
That's true. It's better than wandering around lost.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's say we find our gate.
Okay.
We're all set.
Now you just have to wait for your flight.
Easy peasy.
But there's one important thing to remember.
What's that?
You need to listen for announcements.
Oh, right, because sometimes things change.
Exactly. Your gate could change.
Or the flight could be delayed.
Exactly. So pay attention to those announcements.
Got it. What about if your flight is delayed?
Well, that's never fun.
No, it's not.
But again, the best thing to do is to just ask an airport worker.
Yeah.
They'll have the most up-to-date information.
So what would you say to them?
You could say something like, "Excuse me, my flight is delayed. Can you tell me what's happening?"
Okay, so just be polite and direct.
Exactly.
And hopefully they'll have some good news.
Hopefully, but even if they don't, at least you'll know what to expect.
That's true. It's always better to be informed.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's fast forward a bit.
Okay.
We've landed at our destination.
Yay.
We're at our hotel.
Awesome.
We're ready to check in.
So exciting.
So we walk up to the front desk.
Oh, okay.
What do we say?
You can say, "Hello, I have a reservation. My name is your name."
Simple as that.
Yeah, pretty straightforward.
And of course, have your reservation confirmation handy.
Oh, yes, definitely.
They're going to want to see that.
For sure. And they might ask you a few questions.
Like what?
They might ask, "How many nights are you staying?"
Okay,
Or they might ask for your passport.
good point. I always keep mine in a safe place.
It's important to have it ready.
Okay, so what happens after we check in?
They'll give you your room key,
Yeah.
and they might tell you about some of the hotel amenities.
Like the Wi-Fi password.
Exactly. Or the breakfast times.
That's always good to know.
Yeah, it can be helpful to have that information.
Okay, so let's say we're in our room and we need something,
Okay.
like extra towels.
You can just call down to the front desk
Okay,
and say, "Hello, this is your room number. Can I have some extra towels, please?"
easy peasy.
Yeah, no problem.
What if there's a problem in our room?
Like what?
Like the air conditioner isn't working.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's happened to me before.
Well, in that case, you would call down to the front desk again,
Okay.
and you would say, "Hello, this is your room number. The air conditioner is not working. Can you send someone to fix it, please?"
Okay, so same idea, just be polite and clear about what you need.
Exactly.
I'm starting to feel like I could handle this.
I think you're ready.
Okay, so what about when it's time to check out?
When you're ready to leave, just go down to the front desk and say, "Hello, I would like to check out, please."
Simple as that.
Yep. And then they'll probably ask you how you want to pay.
Okay.
So just tell them cash or credit card.
And then they'll give me my bill.
Exactly. Make
Huh.
sure you check it over carefully.
Yes. Good point. I don't want to pay for anything I didn't use.
Always a good idea to double check.
And then once everything's settled, I just say thank you and I'm on my way.
Exactly. You got it.
That sounds pretty manageable.
It is. Checking out of a hotel is usually pretty straightforward.
I'm feeling more confident already.
That's great to hear.
Okay, so we've covered checking in, checking out, reporting problems.
What else could we possibly need to know?
Well, there are always those little things that come up when you're traveling.
Like what? Like maybe you need an extra blanket or something.
Okay, yeah, how would you ask for that?
Easy. Just call down to the front desk and say, "Hello, this is your room number. Can I have an extra blanket, please?"
Okay, and I bet they have other stuff too, right?
Oh, yeah. Most hotels have all sorts of things you can request.
Like what?
Like extra pillows. Maybe you want a different type of pillow.
Okay.
Or maybe you need an iron and ironing board.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
It's always good to check with the hotel to see what they have available.
So just call down to the front desk and ask
Exactly.
and be polite.
Always be polite. Makes a big difference.
I'm feeling much more prepared for my next trip.
That's great to hear. Remember, even if you make a mistake, it's okay.
Yeah, that's true.
The most important thing is to just try to communicate.
I think I can do that.
I know you can.
So what are some other tips for using English while traveling?
One thing I always recommend is to try to learn a few basic phrases in the local language.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Even just the simple hello or thank you can go a long way.
Yeah, it shows that you're making an effort.
Exactly. And people appreciate that.
So don't be afraid to try.
Exactly. The more you practice, the better you'll get.
Well, I think this has been a really helpful deep dive.
I'm glad you think so.
I've learned a lot of useful phrases, and I feel much more confident about using English when I travel.
That's wonderful to hear. Remember, the most important thing is to relax and have fun.
That's easy to do when you feel prepared.
Exactly. So go out there and explore the world.
I will. Thanks for all the great tips.
You're very welcome. Happy travels.
Thanks to you too.
And to all our listeners, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into travel English.
We hope you learned something new and that you feel more confident about using English on your next adventure.
Remember, even a few basic phrases can make a big difference.
So don't be shy. Give it a try.
And most importantly, have fun.
Until next time, happy travels, everyone.